The logical place to begin our story about Spanish conquistadors might be the Bahamas, where Columbus first discovered the New World. Christopher Columbus was actually an Italian who convinced the King and Queen of Spain to provide ships, crews, and equipment for his journey. A deal was made so that both parties would benefit from any new lands that could be claimed or any riches that might be found. Our story, however, begins in Columbus, Ohio, at a replica of the ship used by Christopher Columbus.
Here we are in Columbus, Ohio. In back of us is a replica of the boat that Christopher Columbus sailed to discover the New World.
Okay, for the 500th anniversary of Columbus's voyage to the New World, a bunch of the city leaders got together and said, since the city's named after Christopher Columbus, we should do something to celebrate. One of the ideas they come up with was to build this full-scale replica of Santa Maria. They went to a man in Spain by the name of Rodriguez Hidalgo, who was a commander in the Spanish Navy and also a naval architect, and he spent several years studying, trying to come up with the most accurate or authentic plans for the Santa Maria. The original plans were never on paper, they were only in the mind of the builder. So we got these plans, and that's what this ship's built to. The platform up above me here is called the forecastle, fore meaning the forward part of the ship, and castle because it was actually used like a castle. If they were attacked by pirates or whoever, the sailors bunch up and run up the ladder, maybe pull the ladder up with them, and then they would have the high ground and they could shoot down on the attackers with their bows and arrows, crossbows, swords, these long spears called pikes, and matchlock muskets. 500 years ago there was no refrigeration, so there was a couple ways to keep meat fresh. One of them was to keep it alive, so in this area up in here they would keep tied up a couple of goats, a couple of pigs, and some chickens to eat along the way. The other way to keep meat fresh is to salt it and or smoke it. Like here we have some slab bacon hanging there. And somebody's cut off a slab of it, a little piece of it. But this bacon is now almost 3 years old and it's still edible. As long as you keep it dry and you don't mess up the crust on the outside of it, it'll keep for a long time. They would have one hot meal a day cooked in the firebox. They'd have an open fire on a wooden ship that's covered with paint, tar, and oil when the ship's rocking around the waves and the wind's blowing around. What they would cook in that firebox is a thick soup. They would put in some garlic and onion for flavoring, put in a piece of this meat for flavoring, not so everybody gets a big hunk of meat, just for flavoring. Fridays they use salt fish. They also got to eat hardtack, or ship's biscuit. It's made this way on purpose. Just flour, salt, and water, no yeast or baking powder. They bake it for a long time to get it totally dried out. And the idea is, as long as this stays dry, it doesn't get moldy. As long as it doesn't get moldy, you can eat it. After it's been in a barrel for a while, you'll get little worms or weevils in there. You can eat those, they don't hurt you. Some of the mold you get on bread can make you really sick, and that's what they were avoiding. Now, how do you eat something that hard? Well, you can gnaw it like a dog does a bone, or break it into pieces, put soup or water over it and let it sit for a while, and then it becomes soft, almost like a dumpling or a thick noodle. Yeah, the first part of the voyage they had some fresh fruits and vegetables, but again there was no refrigeration, so Columbus only took along 10 days worth of fresh produce. They did not have any corn, tomatoes, potatoes, peppers to put in the soup, because all those were found in the New World. Those were things we got from the Indians, along with pineapple, peanuts, chocolate, and tobacco. Heave away as they do, that line rolls in. With 8 men on here, we can lift 2 tons. That's more than most cars weigh. And it does work. We do use it from time to time on the ship. Here, I don't know if you got enough to see the helm or not.
Is that somebody's bed?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the bed of Juan de la Cosa. He's the owner of the ship.
Oh,
Christopher Columbus leased the ship from him.
I see.
This mattress is what the other people sleep on. They just sleep on it on the deck. You've got them hanging back here. To steer the ship, we use this long wooden arm. It's called a tiller. Fast as the top of the rudder. Tiller and rudder. You'll find the same thing today on a modern day small sailboat. If you take the tiller to the right, or starboard, the ship turns to the left. You bring it back to port, the ship's going to turn to the right. As you can see, the man down here cannot see where he's going, but he steers off the compass, which is in the box there. There's a man up on the deck up above that can see where you're going, and he's going to yell, "Steer west!" The man down here goes west eye and looks at his compass, keeps the ship going in a straight line. They didn't have clocks. They told time with a sand glass. This is a half-hour glass, 30 minutes. And one of the jobs of the ship's boys is to stand here and watch the sand run through the glass. And the second it runs out, he flips it over and he sings a little poem.
Land ho!
Okay, this area here is the quarterdeck. This is where the captain or the officer on watch would be, and he would give all his commands on how you would fly the sails and so on. We have all the way up to the top of the mast, we have a platform that some people call a crow's nest, but the real name for it's top. And to get up there, you climb up the rat lines. You go to the side of the ship the wind is coming from, the weather side, climb on up. We have a big heavy line here called the main halyard, and it's used to raise the mainsail. The whole main yard is around behind you here, and it has the mainsail tied to the bottom of it, and by using that main halyard we can haul that main yard right on up almost to the top, and then we have our sails flying and we're ready to sail. The captain's cabin, one bed on the ship for Christopher Columbus. There are 40 men on this voyage, no women. We have more men than they would normally have on a ship this size to sail it. We have a desk here where they kept all the logbooks and did the navigation and stuff like this. Columbus would share this cabin with 5 other people.
Columbus had 3 ships. This was the replica of the Santa Maria.